I hear that there are platforms that also change the price if there's an event in like the Oxnard Festival down here. Is that something that you utilize? Is that something that's available to everybody? Is that expensive? And how does that work?
Yeah, there's multiple. They're called pricing tools. There's multiple. The two most popular, or probably the most common, is AirDNA and PriceTab. Those are the two most popular pricing tools. And I'll give you a secret. I don't use any of them because my system that I have ties into, and I kind of borrowed it from a friend who works for Marriott. It's the same system that the Marriott uses.
Wow.
So I use what the hotels are doing,
which is
to do mine. But it's very similar. It's the same system as AirDNA and the same system as PriceTab. But even with those two pricing tools, which are very good, you are going to pay for them. AirDNA is the most expensive. You are going to pay for the system. But even with them, you still have to monitor the pricing. And I'm going to tell you why. So the system doesn't read your like how your occupancy rate is. On top of that, the system, all of them, has a tendency to do the following. So I'm going to try to do this on the whiteboard. I don't know if you're going to be able to see.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a whiteboard. Yeah.
These are some of my properties. I didn't know you were going to ask me this question, otherwise I would have had to set up. But let's say you have a guest that's staying with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that,
Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then your next guest will come in on Saturday, right? So you have this gap. Most pricing software will lower the rate for this gap because they feel, especially if it's during the week, they feel that it's not going to be as rented as quickly as it was if it were a weekend, right? Mm-hmm. I disagree, and my experience tells me that they're incorrect. It's all dependent on your occupancy. So, for example, if my entire month I'm already at 95% occupied, and I only have these 2 days available, and maybe another 2 days over here, I actually increase the daily rate for these two rates. Because if someone wants to come for those specific days, they only have one option, which is my 2 days. Because, and again, the system that we have, and AirDNA does the same thing, it tells you what the occupancy rates for all other Airbnbs in the area. So if you know that this Thursday, Friday is already at 98% occupied within your county or within your area, then you're the only opportunity you have. So raise it. Because if somebody has to come for those days, don't pay anything, right? Especially on weekdays. Those are usually business people. Mm-hmm. Versus if there's 60% or only 30% occupied, then I would not raise it. I would either keep it the same or go lower because you have a lot of options. That makes sense?
Yeah. And that's something that your platform would tell you. Is that something that is available to like the public, or something that you could sell to the public, or is that something that's exclusive to like people to you?
It's not exclusive to us because our operating software, which is run through Kigo, they now implemented it after I told them about it. So, but as of, as far as I know, I think Kigo's the only company that actually uses it. So they may be other companies that are going to start to adopt that system. But as far as I know, that's the only one.
So let me ask you this. We talked about some of the systems. We talked about AirDNA. We talked about Virgo, or what was that other platform that you or not the other platform? Kigo.
Kigo's operating software. Now, there's many. So you have companies like Streamline, Kigo. Kigo and Streamline are all encompasses websites. You have what's the other one that's really popular? B&B is one. There's a lot. There's a lot of operating softwares out there that you can use. Depending on how big your system is, I highly recommend just go with a company like Kigo that will customize the system for you. So like our system is, it's custom. We started with Streamline, but the bigger we got, we realized we needed something more customized, so we switched. But it's, as you know, systems are it. You got to have systems, you got to have SOPs, and you have to have a very strong team.
It's a business. And then for our viewers, standard operating procedures, SOPs, that's what that means. And it basically just means how you handle certain situations when they happen, how things are designed. They're basically like the operations manual, basically.